Howdy, folks. I can't sleep, so you get me. We're going to be continuing to work on Rex, Risk of Rain 2. We got our less than 10% achievement, so we're pretty good to go there. I think what we're going to do is kind of move on to Monsoon difficulty and just start advancing. If I have another failure, we'll start looking at Command. But a lot of our deaths recently have not really been due to, you know, items not being the things that we want. It's been due to me not playing well. Died last time to a bunch of stone giants shooting me simultaneously, and I probably could have moved out of the way of that. So, you know, that's my fault, not the game's fault. We had some solid items. Didn't necessarily have the items I was looking for at the time, but that's, again, not the game's fault. That's just I need to adjust. I was talking last time about kind of the annoyance of having clients that want you to do work without actually giving you the requirements to do the work. Definitely a pain. It's fun doing the work that I do. You know, I can complain about my job somewhat, but I have a lot of freedom in my job. I have a lot of stuff I can do. My boss is generally awesome. Very supportive guy. Like, I live in, as a lot of you know, I live right outside New Orleans. Which means that this year, of all years, has been a year of back-to-back-to-back-to-back storms. Hurricanes that keep on barreling down towards New Orleans and just in time turn to the side or something like that. It's been kind of a scary time for us down here. Nothing has happened, but every time, you know, and this has been 3 weeks running. Every time at the beginning of the week, as the news comes out, my boss reaches out and says, hey, you know, Nye, into the storm's heading your way. Do you think you guys are going to be okay? Are you worried about it? Is there anything we can do? And I think that's probably the tremendous part of it. The thing that really makes him a great boss is that statement of, is there anything we can do? There's always in the statement that if something does go down, you know, if I have to evacuate or something like that, they will cover for me. Time off will be taken care of. Don't even worry about it. In general, I have a good job. There are things that I'm not particularly pleased about at times, but, you know, I don't think anybody is really ever 100% happy with their job. There's always something that could be better. It may simply be that you have just an irritating coworker, but there's always something, right? As part of the job that could just be a little bit more to your liking. Yeah, generally I have a good job and I enjoy my job. There are definitely times when, you know, I sit here and I think like, man, that's annoying. Some of them are client-facing, some of them are not. And some of them are just part of the job. Like, one of the things that I usually have issues with when it comes to, you know, clients, just the, it's that translation error that comes up. Depending on how customer-facing you are in your job, you may understand what I mean by translation error, or this may be something entirely foreign to you, so let me try to explain. Your customer has a thing that they want. They ask for it. The problem is, either they aren't familiar with what it is that you do, or they are, but they don't know quite how to ask for what they want, and this leads to a translation error. They ask for something that's either impossible, or they ask for something and you misunderstand what it is they're asking for. And it's not due to you not doing your job. It's not necessarily due to the customer, you know, being an idiot customer or anything like that. Probably far from it. They might know exactly what they need, but they just didn't have the right words for it. I have some of my clients who they have, you know, terms they use for various parts of the system that I work in. And so they'll ask me to do work on their behalf, which I'll do. But the problem is their terms either are contrary to the ones that I know, or, and this can be actually worse, is that a term they use is actually a term for something else in the system. I've had that happen a couple times. And so there'll be crossed wires, and you'll have to work with the customer on, you know, on fixing that, on getting the actual language in place that you actually need. The translation errors are a big issue with mine, and that is my job to fix the translation error, to ask questions, to understand. And coming from a retail background, it's something that I'd like to say I'm fairly well qualified to work on. You know, you can say what you like about GameStop, honestly, but one of the things that they really did do is they did their best, at least with the people that I worked with, to really try to help you figure out what was it that your customer needed. Now, in that what is it that this customer need, there was a significant portion of, you know, and, you know, how do we convert that into what we want them to buy? So, you know, grain of salt. But there was a lot of work on, you know, what does the customer need, asking questions and things like that has directly led to me being able to do my job. It actually makes me laugh a little bit because I had a person that I worked with on a kind of on a resume. He's ex-military. He's you know, ex-military, kind of depressed, doesn't really know what to do with his life. And one of the things that he's fairly convinced is that he has no job prospects. And when I asked him why he felt this way, he said one of the major reasons he has no job prospects is that, there are no skills he got from the military that that anybody wants. And I had to go through and kind of work with them on that because, you know, after talking with him for a bit, it turns out, no, there are plenty of things that you learned how to do. He did some work on, people's taxes and things like that. So it's like, okay, you have some preliminary work being an accountant. If that's something you enjoyed, you might want to pursue that. You know, so we talked about that. We talked about his, you know, leadership potential, things like that. We had a lot of talks about that. But there's all of these little things which I find amazing when people do not quite realize the things that their previous jobs have given them. And what really kind of, like, made me sad, actually, is we were talking about building a resume, and I was talking about how you word some of this stuff. Because you can put a lot of stuff onto a resume about skills that you have, because it's kind of about showing the skills I have and how they contribute to you as an employer. And so we were talking about it, and he said, man, I really don't like this. I said, why not? He said, it feels a lot like I'm just, you know, I'm spin doctoring. It's like, not at all, man. You gotta understand is that a lot of the things that you learn how to do on any job, at school, it doesn't really matter. A lot of the stuff you learn how to do, it's actually stuff that, in a really big way, you need to learn that root ability. What I mean by that is that one of the years in GameStop, every year they kind of change strategy on how to teach us how to talk to customers. And thankfully, you know, for whatever reason, this skill was a skill that I ended up kind of coming to innately. A lot of people, I guess, have trouble with this particular skill. I never did. This is something that I completely understood what they wanted from the get-go, and I was able to use it throughout my time there, which is why I think one of the reasons why I was successful in my job. Another, you know, being that I generally like talking to people. I like sharing stories and getting to know customers. But one of the things they asked a lot for was for us to learn how to ask open-ended questions. And you may ask, as someone who maybe does not understand the concept or has never, you know, had it brought up to them, but what's an open-ended question? Well, an open-ended question is just any question that does not have a yes or no answer. It's simple. That's all there is to it. It's just any question does not have a yes or no answer. And so you continue to ask, why does this matter? Why does this matter for retail? Why did GameStop want you to learn it? Like, why do we care? So it's in order to kind of help or force, if you prefer, a reticent customer to talk to you a little bit more and give you more information to help you learn more about them and make recommendations. Now, that sounds a little bit, a little bit weird, a little bit, off-putting, but the problem is, this is a skill that everybody needs to know because you use it in a lot of places. This is something that you can use on a date to learn more about your date, especially blind dates. Or if you're the type of person who likes a dating service, something like that. Open-ended questions can be used there. It can be used, like, on the flip side. Maybe you are a customer trying to look for more information from a salesperson, especially someone like a car dealer who doesn't necessarily want to tell you truthful details about what they're trying to sell you. But open-ended questions are, sure. Any question doesn't have a yes or no answer. So it's the difference between, do you want this? Yes or no. Why do you want this? Why do you not want this? Open-ended questions give you more information. And the thing is, they are very important in a lot of aspects of society. And it's especially important to understand who you're talking to. And this is, I think it's a really important thing to know, because a lot of people, they'll get a little bit of information about someone, and now they think they know everything about this person. Or they think, they know a lot. Like, I know, like, we have a lot of arguments, especially in America, as of late, but kind of in general. There's a lot of arguments that happen where people, they're arguing about politics, they're arguing about their beliefs, things like that. But there's a lot of argument, and the thing is that a lot of people don't understand. They don't understand where the argument is coming from. They don't understand where this other person is coming from. And the problem is they ask a lot of close-ended questions. Yes or no, do you believe what I believe? Things like that. But what's kind of interesting is that if you are the type of person to ask why, if you kind of follow up these, follow up with these open-ended questions, try to get more information, you're more likely to understand your fellow human being. And understanding breeds respect. It breeds, it breeds willingness to compromise. And then also, just simply understanding, all of a sudden, it also makes it a lot easier to have that conversation. If you're the type of person who, for example, believes in one political candidate over another one, it's very easy for me, as a person who disagrees with you, to just say, man, you must be an idiot because you listen to this person and not that person. But if I can ask, so if I say, hey, do you support this person? You say yes, it's so much easier for me to just dismiss you. But if I say, hey, can you tell me why you support this person? That's an open-ended question. That invites a longer answer. It opens up a dialogue. And it might be that over the course of having this conversation with you, I might be able to understand more about you as a person, or more about your beliefs. Maybe there's something I didn't know about your candidate, Maybe I didn't know that they support this, or they support that, or they actually do it this way. I thought they wanted to do this thing, but it turns out, well, they actually want to do this other thing. That's just part and parcel to get support. There's a lot of these different, things that you can learn. And it applies to a lot of other things too. Learning in school. If you're in school, or you're in college, something like that, and you're trying to learn more about subject here, asking open-ended questions will get you a lot more information. Just saying to your professor, hey, is the mitochondria the powerhouse of the cell, blah 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 blah, or asking the famous question, right? The one that everybody asks: will we use this outside of class, right? Because it's a big joke that everybody knows the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. And we all kind of remember this from school, and it's kind of pointless knowledge. It just kind of sits in our head. And it's just kind of one of those, man, they told us this back in the day, and God, I know it, but it doesn't help me at all. Well, you can ask that open question, okay, this is going to help me. How is it going to help me? What is this going to do for me in the future? You'll get more information that way. And I found that in work, when I was working as retail, it was asking questions, not just, hey, are you coming to buy a game today, or do you like Call of Duty? It was more of a, okay, do you like shooters? What type of shooters do you like? You know, you can ask the close-ended questions, but they really want the open-ended ones. What type of shooters do you like? What do you like about Call of Duty? Have you tried this game? That's a yes or no question. When you tried this game, did you, what did you feel about it? Did you like it? Yes or no? What didn't you like about it? So you kind of ask these questions, kind of begin to understand this other person. It's a skill that I find has kind of been useful for me in a lot of other places in my life. Understanding other people, getting to know other people. When you learn to ask, open-ended questions, all of a sudden, I don't think I'm particularly interesting personally, but I think if you want to be an interesting conversationalist, being able to ask those questions helps. Because let's be honest, everybody likes talking about themselves. And knowing how to ask that question will allow them to talk about themselves. But it also gives them a focus target. It allows them to say something about a specific target, and that shows that you're paying attention, you're taking an interest. And, I'm going to hope, for the sake of, honesty in life, I'm going to hope that you actually are taking an interest, and this is something that you actually care about. But it definitely is one of those things that you can kind of, use this to kind of build a relationship. There are definitely people out there who are the psychopath type people who are like, man, I can use this to make it sound like I'm interested. How about actually being interested? Let's start there. Let's start with actually being interested. I don't actually want that. I'm gonna try to re-roll it. Actually, no, I'll take it back. I'll take that, because having a stun is useful. That was definitely a skill that I was actually able to build. And it was really interesting, because GameStop tried so hard to get people to build that skill, and for me, it was just a natural thing. I don't know if it's just because, I'm fairly used to, used to the English language, used to reading stuff like that, and so the concept of closed-ended questions, I understand how those can end conversations. They spent a long time trying to build that concept, which I find to be phenomenally silly, honestly. Closed-ended questions, they literally do end conversations, because you don't get anywhere to go with the conversation that you built, Hi, do you like Godzilla? Yes, no. Where do you go from there with that conversation? I'm looking for the exit right now. I got no idea where it is. I have the lights around here. Ah, there it is. Close-ended question, do you like Godzilla? Yes, no. Well, they answer no, for example. Where do you go? You have to come up with a new topic of conversation. You have to actually, build something new with them. But if it's, hey, can you tell me why you like this sort of thing? You kind of build more. It's very hard for a conversation to end on a non-yes/no answer. So one of the years they started having us go through improv classes with a improv troupe they brought in. So they were trying to teach us better ways to ask yes or no questions, ask open-ended questions, things like that, which made a certain amount of sense. But as a person who's never had any trouble with that, it kind of felt a little bit silly. I don't know why, but I've never had trouble, actually asking, open-ended questions, learning more about people, finding more about them. That's just kind of second nature to me. I might be one of those weird people, I don't know. Maybe that is a weird thing. For me, it's weird to not be able to ask those types of questions. Sure, I'll take Carnal Bubble. And it's, as I said, that skill, the ability to ask, and I think the thing is, I kind of knew that these were important things to be able to do back in, high school, things like that. It was important to be able to ask those questions. But I think it wasn't until I really started working that retail job and talking to people and using those types of questions to kind of build a rapport, learn more, which allowed me to recommend more. It wasn't until that happened that I really started to understand how important that was. But now it's a skill that I've taken with me to this new job, so now it makes it easier to make sure me and my client are speaking the same language. You know, it's not just simple, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? It's not simple just clarification of, did you mean question mark, question mark, question mark, trail off here. It's not just that. You know, it's a lot of, you know, hey, you know, I think that what you're talking about is this, this, and this, and this. Can you talk to me more about this thing that you're looking for so I can get a better idea of what you're looking for? I seek to understand. Can you give me more details? Can you tell me more about this? Getting more information, I find, is always useful, but that's a skill that kind of I learned from retail that translated into my current job. And it's definitely kind of an interesting thing, because you sit here and you're like, man, what can retail do that will, you know, a lot of people say, and keep in mind, this is absolutely legitimate, and listen to the people who say this, but a lot of people will tell you that retail is hell, you know, that it's a crappy job. Listen to them, they're exactly right. Retail is never where you want to fit, you know, never where you want to kind of like live your life out. Go for something more. But that being said, you know, having made this very strong statement that, you know, retail is hell and it's kind of a crappy thing, which again, absolutely true and absolutely what I believe. I also believe that there is some good to having a retail job, especially as a younger person. Not only does it tell you, hey, you can put up with this, not only does it give you, you know, various people skills that you can use to help you in future jobs, but there's just a lot of these little skills that you learn from retail that you might not have learned otherwise. Yeah. I mean, any job can be like that. Now, I worked in pizza delivery for a number of years, and so the question is, okay, what did you learn in pizza delivery that you deal with now? Well, it turned out that I had a decent amount of skill in soothing over customers who were annoyed at something. Maybe something as simple as like a pizza was taking too long because we had a very busy night or something like that, or we screwed up a pizza. But I kind of learned that there was a skill there and learned to help develop that. So now I kind of find myself with this skill to kind of help soothe the savage beast. And that's a useful skill to have. Just learning how to talk to people. You know, in pizza, that's a fairly, I don't want another bandolier. We're gonna wait on that. Pizza is a fairly low, you know, low impact environment, right? There's not really a lot of, penalty for screwing that one up. You know, sure, customer's gonna be pissed, you know, your boss might be angry at you, but at the end of the day, what's gonna happen? We're gonna comp them a free pizza, you know, like, there's not really a lot that's gonna happen there that's gonna punish you for screwing up the pizza delivery. But you're working on a, you know, $80,000 project or something like that, and something goes wrong and your client's very unhappy, and you're gonna be glad for having the skills to deal with a customer, to satisfy a customer, make them happier with you. That's a skill that you're gonna be happy you had, and being able to explore that. That's the type of thing I kind of learned. And a lot of, you know, I learned that in retail, but I also learned it in consulting. I make it sound like it's a, you know, it's both a big deal and a crappy job. It really isn't. You know, some clients are good, some clients are bad. But generally, I have a great rapport with my clients. My clients know I'll take care of them. They know I'm going to make sure that they are you know, happy and satisfied with whatever crap it is that we happen to be working on for them, their needs will be met. And that's an important thing for any of your clients to have. But also, whenever I do decide to move on, which I don't know when that's going to happen, I'm kind of satisfied with my job. I don't make as much money as I would like to, so I'd like to move up or, you know, move along or something like that. I'd like to kind of advance my life. But I know that I will have a fair amount of skills going with me whenever I do move on, and that's an important thing to know. Like, that's something you want to know about your life when you leave your current job. I know my audience is primarily built of, you know, folks my age, so it's not like I'm telling you something you don't know. Then again, the guy who I talked to, who had the military background, you know, who thought that he had no applicable skills, didn't know some of this stuff. But if you're, like, you know, you want to have skills moving on, and the other thing is you want to know what the root value of those skills are. You know, cool, I can process paperwork quickly. Well, what that means, what you can tell tell your client. Nice. What you can tell your prospective boss is not that I'm good at collating. It's I can process information quickly and sort it by relevancy. That's the skill that you have. And that's very different than what you thought you had. No, I don't think I want a new active item. I'm pretty happy with my current active item. Sure, let's get more health. Yeah, that's the skill that you have is that you can sort quickly. You can filter information quickly. That is a incredibly potent skill to have under your belt. Like, being able to process information quickly, like, that's huge. There are tons and tons and tons of people out there who do not have that skill, who do not have the ability to quickly, you know, go through and process information, understand kind of what was it that they read, what was it that they saw. These guys are kind of hurting like hell. Getting plenty of my health back, thankfully. Okay, one's down. You know, being able to make a decision on the fly. You may think that's just kind of a basic thing. Man, what do you mean? There's a customer who's upset, and I, you know, kind of found the words to make them upset. That's decision making on the fly. That's both that's reading people, that's reading the room, that's being able to come up with good words, thinking on your feet. There are so many little things that you do in that situation, and it sounds like a very small thing, but those are huge skills. The question is, how are you going to put them into practice? How are you going to actually use those? And that's kind of the harder one. What job is actively going to use this skill that you have? And it's not harder as in, like, this is a less useful skill, therefore it's harder to find a use for it. It's harder in that you've got to kind of really decide where do you want to go with it. The ability to read a room, for example, and, you know, and kind of figure out what's useful to say to a person, that's a skill a therapist wants, a doctor wants that for bedside manner, as does a nurse. You know, that's useful for when you're a mechanic bringing hey, yeah, absolutely. You're a mechanic bringing bad news to someone that brought a car into you, or, you know, that's a skill that all of these different jobs can use. It's just a matter of how do you know how to use it? How do you say these words to a client, a customer? Kind of don't want to deal with this magworm right now. We got on this 228, cool. Yeah, I'm cool with that. Okay, I'm a little better with this position because I have a little bit more room to work with. Get some kills in here, get a little bit of money. That's really the reason I'm not moving much, is I just don't have money to use right now. I really wish that we had... there's a lot of things I wish we had, let's be 100% honest. We're a little bit dry on certain types of effects. Okay, that should help. I don't know how long that gunner turret's actually gonna live, but... Okay. I really want to get a payout. This shrine right here before I move on. I don't want to have to come back around for it. And unlike what I'm playing with, like meta for someone like that, this is one of those things that we kind of gotta get an answer to right now. Ooh, that gunner turret is not looking good. Okay. Dead magma worm. Okay, come on. There we go. Let's reroll that. I will take another stun grenade. Okay, we're gonna go to the center here. It's another achievement that I'm hoping to get some traction on. This playthrough is the knocking snails off. Anything up here we care about? Real quick before we move on. Hey, look, there's me. I don't know why this subject came up in my brain. I think I've been seeing a lot of, you know, I browse Imager a lot, kind of when I have nothing else to do. Kind of wait for, like, the next thing to happen that I'm waiting on, something like that. And I end up browsing Imager a lot, and I know I've seen a lot of, there's a lot of depressed people on that site, which is understandable. I mean, with today's day and age, all the crap that's going on, it's understandable to be depressed right now. Just, this is kind of a darker point in history that a lot of us are just kind of racing our way through. You know what? I'm cool with that. Excuse me? You wanna give this to me? Thank you. So, we're in kind of this dark place in history. Like, there's not a lot of, you know, positive things going on that we can all kind of feel happy about. So it's absolutely understandable for people to be depressed, but I think a lot of things are people talking about how, like, they don't have any life skills, things like that. There's a lot of skills that you may have. I remember reading, and this is, I mean, a number of years ago now, but there was a thing that was talked about a number of years ago about how, you know, if you were a raid leader in, that's interesting. If you were a raid leader in, like, World of Warcraft, how you might want to consider putting that or something similar on your resume. And that sounds like a really silly thing until you realize that what that means is that you are able to organize, you know, dozens of people who might have, you know, personality conflicts, might be clashing, but you're able to organize this ragtag group into working together to solve, or to complete, you know, large, challenging tasks. In a lot of cases, it's all about how you word it. But it's not even how you word it, because that's I think what my friend was talking about, how the spin doctoring. Not just how you word it, it's how you understand it. How do you understand what you yourself are capable of, based off the things that you have done in the past? Equipment? That was really silly, actually. I'm kind of an idiot. I have no idea how that's gonna work, actually. I hope it doesn't randomly, like, get rid of stuff I actually want. There was a, hi, friends. There was an equipment barrel back here, so let's go for that. I am stuck. Okay. Was there not? Did I misremember? I thought there was equipment barrel back here. There it is. It's a huge downgrade. Yeah, I think being able to understand what you're capable of is a huge thing that everybody needs to have. Capable of, you know, making smart decisions under pressure. I mean, that's also a downgrade. It's okay. My equipment drone is not going to last very long. Yeah, can you make decisions under pressure? Can you know... Here, you can have that one. There's a lot of things that you may be able to do as a human being. You're just not aware they're valuable. And I find that to be a sad thing. People should know that they have talent, they have value. And there's so many people that don't understand this, and it's depressing. It's not their fault either. They don't understand what is talent, what is useful. Something as simple as just making people smile or something like that. Like, it sounds like a very small nothing skill until you realize that's a huge deal for a lot of people. People will pay a lot of money for an entertainer. They will pay a lot of money for someone with the skill just to make them smile and laugh, forget about their troubles for a day. Yeah, it's terribly depressing that a lot of people are kind of stuck in this position where they sit there thinking, man, there's nothing, nothing especially useful about me. I don't have any marketable skills. Like, chances are you do, you just don't know what you have. It's definitely that question, though, like, okay, do I know what I have? Now, how useful actually is it? That's the harder question, you know? Some stuff you actually have to work on. Some stuff, it actually needs something else to go with it, so you may need to learn, another skill on top of the one you have to actually have something that works. And then you just have to be willing to actually, actually put the work together. Okay. Solid. If I sit here and I'm watching you as a mentor on Final Fantasy or something like that, and you are showing that you have the ability to explain complex topics to people, complex mechanics in a fight or something like that, what that means is you have the ability to teach. Like, that is the marketable skill. We need teachers. Like, teaching is a huge thing. And we need teachers, not only, in the United States, but worldwide. The United States especially needs, not only good teachers, but we need to be able to show people how important teaching is. But being able to teach is a hugely important skill. Very marketable. I mean, that's not just something, teaching 6-year-olds how to count. I mean, you could be teaching people how to, you could be teaching at any level. You could be teaching people how to use, complex machinery. Like, there's a lot of different ways that can be taken. And the important thing is about that skill is that you have the skill to take, complicated instructions and make them understandable. You're effectively a translator is what you are. You're translating complicated to not complicated. But that is kind of the end result is that is the skill that you have that we need to talk about, you using with other people. We know you have the skill. The next question is, how do you use that skill? don't know. It is a point of annoyance for me. Not annoyed at anybody. Like I'm not angry at people. I just, you know, I see a lot of people out there, and you know, they think they're stuck, or they don't see their own value. And as a person who goes through cycles of not seeing my own value, and then I'll see it, and then I won't, so like that. Like, I understand where those people are coming from, but I also understand there are so many things you can do that you're just probably not aware of. That's why I love people like you know, like Bob Ross actually is a great example. What was his what was his talent? Partially talking to people, painting, absolutely, but like we're not just talking about painting. You know, part just talking to people. Like, he had the ability to kind of make things, you know, seem happy. He had the ability to kind of say, okay, let's take this, you know, whoop, here's a mistake. Okay, let's show why, yes, this is a mistake, but it's not the end of the world. Let's show why this mistake can actually turn into a good thing. Here's how. Positivity is a talent. A lot of people out there who, you know, have the ability to just remain positive at all times. Oh my god, do you know how rare of a skill that is? Do you know how big of a deal that is? Being able to remain a positive person in the face of adversity? Holy crap. Oh, there's two of them. That explains a lot, actually. Being able to acknowledge, yes, life sucks, but it's that, but I have this going for me, which is nice. It's that meme. Yeah, it's a meme, and yeah, you know, meme culture, sure. But that is actually a thing, right? To be able to say, hey, you know, I have this bad thing happening, but I do have this other good thing happening, and that kind of offsets it. You can fix the bad thing. You know, there's an old meme that goes around that's, you know, some woman who is very against short men. And keep in mind, I say this as a guy who's fairly short, like I'm 5'7". This woman's very against short men, and some guy is kind of leading her on, and then kind of mentions how he thinks people with weight problems are ridiculous and unattractive. And she apparently has a weight issue, so she's immediately like, hey, screw you! And his response is, you know, people who are short don't have any recourse. They can't snap their fingers and become not short. But someone who has a weight issue can work on not having a weight issue. You know, if you're overweight, you can lose weight. It might be hard, might be very hard, but the ability is there. You do have the ability to do it. You know, the question is, do you have the energy? Do you have the, do you have the willpower? There's a lot of things that you may need to gain in order to be able to do it. But the important thing is, you can do it. And being a person who has the ability to say, you know what? You know, this kind of sucks, but I can work on it. Hugely powerful skill. Big, 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 big deal. There's other skills I ended up gaining from my time at GameStop. I know it's very weird and it's very, you know, not in vogue to say complimentary things about that company, which, you know, I've said over the years and I will continue to say because nothing's changed about this. You know, I had a lot of good things happen for me at that company. You know, things like understanding a profit and loss report. You know, you might think that's a small thing, and okay, it might be. But being able to put together, like, okay, this is the this. You know, these are my expenses. This is where I'm, you know, getting returns on my investment. One of the things they had me do is I had to, as a manager, one of the things I had to do on a regular basis, you know, every month, is I had to, every week even, was I had to look at my profit and loss report and say, okay, this is where I'm losing money, this is where I'm gaining money, as the store, not me myself, but as the store, this is going to be my plan to fix it. That's immensely valuable. That's something, you know, my mom had issues with bankruptcy due to she didn't learn a lot of these skills. She went from my grandmother, who was the primary breadwinner of the household, because my grandfather died early. So she went from my grandmother, and then, you know, my mom went to college, and then, you know, while in college, she met my dad. They fell in love. You know, they had me. She dropped out of college to be a mom. That's what she wanted to do. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. That's very important to note. Is that they agreed mutually that he would be. They were both in medical school. So he would be a doctor, and she would take care of me, and that was kind of the decision they made. But one of the problems is that she, because of kind of the nature of this, because of the nature of her life, to begin with, she didn't learn how to be financially stable and how to use money correctly and how to make sure that your, you know, checkbooks were perfectly balanced. These are kind of skills she didn't learn. And, you know, it's understandable she didn't learn them. Who was supposed to teach her? She never had a chance to learn them. Learning stuff like that and knowing, okay, you know, income has to, has to overpower outcome, to word it extremely badly. But money, you know, the money coming in needs to be greater than the money going out, and if it isn't, you need to reevaluate. These are skills to learn. Being able to look and go, okay, you know, I have this many resources. It's not even necessarily money, it's resources in general. I have this many resources, I'm spending this many resources. As part of my job as a consultant, I don't set my own hours, but I kind of decide how I'm using hours for which client in what order. So being able to say, okay, I have, you know, 40 hours with which to do things, and they have given me, you know, 60 hours of work, and they have told me I'm going to prioritize like this. You know, what items am I going to... What items am I going to work on? You know, being able to prioritize. And that's, you know, that doesn't sound like it's related, but that is kind of like making that plan. I have a limited amount of resource. I need to accomplish this, this, and this. How am I going to solve this with the limited amount of resources I have? These are just kind of all skills that you learn. So there's all these little skills that I learned while working for GameStop. You know, and a lot of this, keep in mind, a lot of this I was a manager, so I was responsible for a lot of this stuff. So it's going to be a little bit different from anybody who was going in as, you know, an entry-level worker. But a lot of this is stuff that you can learn from other jobs. Or you can learn, some of this you can even learn by proxy, honestly, though some that you absolutely cannot, so take this with a grain of salt. But, you know, scheduling. Very useful skill. Again, I have X amount of hours. How am I going to spend these hours? I use that in my job daily. I have 8 hours today. I have to accomplish this, this, and this. How am I going to do it? Can I actually get over here? Yes. Yeah, I have only a certain amount of hours each day to accomplish a bunch of stuff that I need to accomplish for my clients. So with that knowledge, how am I going to do that? You know, in what order will I complete each task to make sure that I get the most amount done? I have a client who gave me a huge task recently. They have a very large issue going on with the system that is undermining, you know, their stakeholders, the people who actually, like, do, you know, control whether or not they continue to use this product, which in turn, you know, if the thing that keeps you, you know, it keeps the ramen flowing, you know, but if your job is to run this system and your stakeholders decide this system is not worth it because their, you know, confidence has been undermined, that's you out of the job, right? They need me to help them work on it. Well, I have 100 hours for this client. Like, I can spend up to 100 hours on all of their tasks. But obviously, they don't want me to spend 100 hours on this one task. They have other stuff they want me to do. This just happens to be the first one they are currently working on. So being able to say, okay, I expect to be able to get it done. Like, estimating was always a huge thing. You know, estimating how long it would take you to do a thing. In a lot of cases, it was estimating how long would it take me to, you know, clean this, or how long would it take me to, you know, to fully stock that. Because I'd have to do changeovers to my store, and it would take, you know, X amount of time to actually change over my store and put up all the new stuff that I had to do. But estimating, important skill. There's a lot of little skills that you learn from each job. Oh, hi, Souls Control Unit. How's your day going? Hi, friends. That's okay. Y'all get blown up. That's fine. You still alive? There we go. Give me enough funds for the remainder of the level. We're gonna be looping, going for an obliteration. Speaking of which, let me make sure I am going... Ow. Make sure I'm going to the moon shop, because I want to see about getting beads of whatever. That is a lot of parents. Okay, we know where the exit is. I could use, like, another Hopu feather or two. Like, I never get them when we're on command, because there's always more important things, but man. Absolutely use a Hopu feather. Another ring. Ah, a ring that I don't have. Useful thing to have. More defense. Oh, hello. Nice. Move even faster. It's nice being able to, you know, like, as a person like myself who, you know, my self-esteem kind of comes and goes on a kind of a constant basis. It is nice to be able to talk to yourself and say, okay, I actually do have these skills. These are things I do know how to do. Okay, what am I gonna fight? Naturally. Could definitely use... Oh, nope. I definitely would not mind having, whatchamacallit, more bleed effects, more tri-tip daggers. Hey, look. I asked for a Hopu feather, and it gave me one. Oh, nice. Right now I only have 3. It'd be nice to have the other 4 to, have full bleed going on. Whew, enemies everywhere. And my drones are just falling over. Look at this. out of here, please. I can still die after the portal is up. I proved it earlier. Okay. Do we have access to Griddle Crown? And I have access to some stuff, but I don't really care for most of it. Ah. Like, do I want any of this is the major question. And we definitely do not want Transcendence. You know, Spinal Tonic is fun and all, but the question is, do I want Purity? I don't think so. I have a lot of stuff, so I don't think I want it. It was probably worth coming in here just to see. Beats of Fealty would have been nice. Okay. Oh, enemies everywhere. Anything here I want? I kind of want the recycler again, I'm not gonna lie. Not likely to see it again. Ooh, hey. That's a lot of money. No. Pretty sure that's just Meteor, and I like living. And there are basically no items on this floor. Oh, this is okay. There we go. We're fine. Okay, got my environmental log for Distant Roost. Probably had that one already. It's fine. Let's see, what do we have over here? Anything I want? That Monster Tooth necklace would not go amiss. Like being able to kind of get my health back on a stage like this would be nice. I love my movement speed. My movement speed is absolutely excellent. I need this movement speed just as a general rule. Hello, friend. Excellent. Shattering Justice. Especially when I have, you know, fast attack speed and also this attack. Let's just shred enemies. Okay. Sadly, doesn't help me too much, but if we do happen to get the right level, next level, maybe I can end up using this. Okay. Tough Times is awesome. Alright, lost my train of thought, so we're just kind of talking about the game. We're in a pretty solid place. I think Obliteration is not going to be hard to do. I would like to actually get my achievement. And I'm not 100% sure where the Newt Shrine spawns on this variation of the level. I know where it is on a lot of levels, but on this variation of Distant Roost, I actually don't know where it is. I'm looking for it just in case. 'Cause I'd love to be able to just choose the aqueduct. Not on top of that pillar. Okay, we know that. I could be searching while, you know, after the shrine, or after the teleport's been taken care of, but where would the fun be in that, you know? Okay, I don't see it. We're just gonna have to hope. Did I not hit it? There we go. What do we got? What do we get? Okay. We got another fuel cell, so I'll be able to use the BFG more often. Enemies die very, very fast. I like how with Rex, like, or especially with this run, I have not gotten a lot of passive effects. You know, so I'm still very active on this run right now. Like, yeah, we have a lot of, like, passive kill potential, something like that, but I'm still kind of incentivized to kind of keep attacking directly. Okay. Get out of this level. Hopefully, see Clay Dune Striders on the next level. We've been getting a lot of mire. But I would like Abandoned Aqueduct, please. Would have loved to have seen the Newt Altar, so I could have selected it. Okay, we have Abandoned Aqueduct. Okay, now, these enemies are terrifying. I don't know what that is in there, but let's kill it. Come on. Die, please. Okay. Let's go searching for items. My drones are not going to be surviving much longer. Like, we're reaching a point where drones are just not going to survive. Finally, we have razor wire. The enemies who actually do smack me are going to get punished for it. Isn't there another chest I saw over here? I do like it. I do like punishing enemies for hitting me. It's fun. Can I even get up to that? I don't even know if I currently have the ability. Go away. Anything interesting? Nope. What about this one? Sure. That's scary. Go ahead and hit that. Always on the lookout for recycler. Sure. I'll take the monster tooth necklace. I might not use it, but I definitely want to have the access to it. Absolutely, absolutely. Okay, now we're on a little bit more of the let's just move aspect of the game. I think we can reroll that. Thank you. That's absolutely fine. Give me that, please. Thank you. Not really a big fan of all of these, you know, what have you enemies. These, Malachite enemies showing up. Yep. Oh, jeez. I have so much money coming out of that little pocket right there. Oh my god, that is one expensive shrine that is not paying out. There we go. No, I would like to reroll that. Okay, it's not allowing me to reroll it for whatever reason. I don't know why. That is fine. Okay, so our exit is over here. Let's hope we get the correct boss. I'm just flat not being allowed to use my item, which kind of sucks. Oh, I would love to reroll that. Please, game. Oh, hello. Like, I'm just not being given the ability to reroll it. I don't know why. Okay. Let's see. Is there a better item in here that I could use for now? Jade Elephant is very good right now. Okay, come on. Give me the enemy I want. Yes. That should be my achievement. There it is. Okay, we've officially gotten our achievements. Oh, I didn't want to use that many of that ability just then. That's fine, though. Okay. We have shields out the wazoo. Predatory Instincts being a great item. Okay, so here's the question. Do I obliterate or do I actually go after him? Like, I kind of see going both ways, honestly, at this point. That is a tough call. I kind of want to go after him. I think that we have a fairly good chance of winning this run. Okay, it's all going to depend on if we see beads of fealty in the shop here. If we see beads of fealty, we're going to run with that and we're going to obliterate, and that's fine. We have that's officially a win, really. If we see beads of fealty, we're running with that. If we don't, we're going to go after myth. Okay, well that answers that. No beads of fealty. Oh, don't need it. Ooh. Yeah, that's really gonna make it a lot easier to go after him too. Yeah, I'm very glad that we ended up getting the hard light accelerator. I think without that, I was not gonna get rid of that Dune Strider. And knocking that Dune Strider away. Oh god, do I have no heals? No. Healing still active. Healing still active. Okay. That enemy just hit like a truck. Working on getting money. Where's the boss one? There's a boss that's attacking. There you are. Let's get rid of the boss. And I'm also thinking about, like, my crit is stupid low right now. God, I wish I had the hand D effect of just being able to carry multiple attack items right now. Oh god. Okay, I cannot heal. Cannot heal right now. Need to knock it hit. Need to knock it hit. Cannot heal. There we go. Come on, you freaking assholes, die. Like, I'm shooting into this Malachite field, and they do not want to fall over. Okay. Should be able to activate. 5. I see it. 6. Whew. Actually had a fair amount of luck with the wax pigeon. Just kind of saved my butt just now. Like, it's making strafing so much easier, and I didn't really expect that. Also, being able to use that button to knock yourself back seemed pretty solid. Okay, there are some items on this level, so we're going to go ahead and clear enemies. I need to pick up the item. Okay. There are some items in this level. There's not very many, but there are a couple of them, and that would be useful to have. Is there still an enemy somewhere around here? Also, textures just screwing with the gold portal. Absolutely, Topaz Brooch. We got good movement speed. Very pleased about our movement speed. Unfortunately, unlike Medif, I don't actually know where these chests are. Found 3. I know there's supposed to be, I think he says there's 4 of them that are always up. Yeah, I did pick up the Aurelianite. It feels like we're good to go. I'm going to call that good. Now, like I said, I did not get a Beads of Fealty here. And I think it's a little bit of a waste to obliterate without a Beads of Fealty in hand. Oh, crap. Well, that was cheeky. Okay. Yeah, no Beads of Fealty, so I think we're just gonna kind of go. See what item we get to drop. Massive Leech sounds useful up until you realize that we have a lot of Malachite running around. Another backup mag, so I'm able to just keep on stacking stuff. If I had 4 more bleeds, I'd be so much happier with the amount of backup mags that we have. So I could guarantee that every drop of my secondary would be a bleed. But unfortunately, we simply do not have that. Okay, another cautious slug. I was actually really hoping that was going to be a, hoping that was going to be a book, actually. Not that we have a ton of trouble with money in this run. But it would be nice to have a little bit of extra money at the very beginning of any given floor. I don't even know what item I got. Oh, cool. Another Topaz Brooch. We like it. Keeping those shields up. Our crit has been woefully low. That is the second Lensmaker's Glasses we've gotten in this entire run, which is stupidly low. I mean, it really goes to show you the difference in kind of expected power between a you know, a standard run, which this is, so this is just a run where I don't have any control over what drops. You know, we had, we had some control because we had the recycler for a while, but let's be honest, I don't have any control over what drops here. So it really shows you the difference between a run where you have no control over what drops, and then also compare that to a run where, you're running command. I would have had 100% crit a long time ago with command. Hey, tri-tip dagger. I also might have lost a long time ago on command, too. Worth thinking about. Well, that's not useful. Yet another bandolier. Abso-freaking-lutely. Are you kidding me? Oh, speaking of kidding me, time to leave. As soon as the Void Reavers start to show up, oh, it is time to leave. Okay. We're going to see about getting out of here as soon as humanly possible. Rex is not a human, but you know what I mean. I am going to go ahead and commit to not obliterating. So we are going ahead, and we are going to try to beat Myth. Just kind of circling this pocket of enemies here. Make sure that they are locked down. Also makes it so Aurelian Knight is a total badass. Unfortunately, we're not going to have him for the final fight, but he's going to do good work for us until then. Nope. I'm committing. We are leaving. Okay. I think we have a chance. I do. Especially with the rejuvenation rack that we just got. There's another ability that we never received. Two of them, in fact. So I gotta wait on that, but we're definitely gonna be getting one of those. Actually help with my crowd clear. And let's face it, that is something that I absolutely need. Rex has got some crowd clear, but I feel that his ability to deal with crowds is not quite as much as I would like it to be. Oh, hi, friend. I see that you're back. Tell you what, I will be over here. Look how long this Void Reaver is taking to die. Oh, there's another one behind me. Crap. In case you're curious where I got all that height from, that was me Pressing shift and activating my ability there. Is that an emergency drone? That is. Let's go ahead and snag that. God, can y'all just relax, please? Oh God, look at all the Void Reavers. Ooh, that is excellent. Okay, let's go deal with that. Not stacking as many bleeds as I would really love to on the alloy unit. Activate my amazingly sexy elephant every so often here. Bunch of stacks. Okay. The question is, what did I get out of that? Another alien head? Oh, interstellar desk plant. Okay. I mean, the ability to heal is no small thing. And considering that right now, every time I heal because of that item, I'm sending off, like, attacking pulses. It ends up making a really potent combination. Like, that was an amazing red to get on Rex. Even more so when you realized it was a random red. I mean, every random red item is a good red item, but a random red item that gives me something that's really good for my character. We're just gonna drop that there. Well, that's not helpful. Okay. Cannot heal. Kind of scared. Gonna wait this patiently out over here. Okay, there we go. Okay, evidently I need to clear some enemies. You stay on your side of the board, sir. Okay. We absolutely want a ukulele. Oh, crap. Okay, that ukulele is going to be great stuff. So my damage will extend even further as I attack people. Come on, I want to be out of here. Ooh. That's interesting. Problem is, I'm not 100% sure there is actually a, like, red item that I would want to give up to go into that. Actually, my only problem with that 3D printer right now, I just don't have a red tier item I'd want to get rid of. Do we have a scrapper somewhere? I don't remember. Did I see a scrapper? Because I need a red scrap to, to put in the collection. So if there's a red scrapper, or if there's a scrapper somewhere, I think there might have been towards the top floors. Then I might take advantage of that. Yeah. What am I going to get rid of? I'm going to get rid of the Hardlight Afterburner. Okay, I have now officially gotten item scrap red. So I've actually gotten that now. And now we're going to go ahead and pick up the brains. Oh my god, that was so many missiles. Now we have brain stocks. Which actually is huge on me. Like, frankly, that's a skill you do not want me to have if you're an enemy. Every time I kill an elite, I just call down even more artillery. What did I get? I mean, Rose Buckler's fine. Like, my enemy should be scared of me now. You do not want Rex to have this type of power. I mean, as a general rule, you do not want the player to have this type of power, but, I mean... So I'm just calling down these consistent and constant rains of hell. Oh, I am out. We are not dealing with that. We are out. Okay, so the big question becomes, how do we do this level? Do I just leave? Do I book it out of here? Do I spend some time looking for goodies? Do we see the exit from here? So I do not see the exit from here, which is kind of a problem. Oh, that's terrifying. Active item. Not worth. What do we got here? Nothing I really want. think I'm gonna do the usual, and I'm gonna clear. Try to do it quickly. Oh dear. Oh my god, a Malachite parent. That is terrifying. Like, that is a terrifying thing. Holy crap. What do I want out of this? Void Reaver's over there. As long as they're over there, I don't mind. The second they actually start showing up in my face is when I have a problem. Oh, that's an enemy. Luckily, we are fairly fast. Like, I am playing super risky right now by actually staying on this level. Not gonna pretend what I'm doing is very smart. That's my first gasoline? Really? Okay. Double okay. Not gonna argue with free reds. Ah, there we are. Whew. Please don't do that, Mr. Parent Man. I didn't do anything to you. Your children are not in the game. I didn't do anything to them. Things I did in a previous game cannot be held to me. I really want my my final tri-tip dagger. I'm kind of upset by the fact that we're, you know, this far in with only 4 tri-tip daggers. Oh no! Well, that happened. Didn't even know it was there. It died to other attacks. I got too greedy. I delved too deep. What's our new ability? Bramble Volley. Fire Sonic Boom that damages enemies for 500% damage. Heals for every target hit. That sounds fantastic. Okay, folks, so the only character with skills we have not learned yet is the Merc. That's going to be its own thing. And I'm not a tremendously big fan of the Merc. So we're going to see what happens. I'm going to have to sit and do some prismatics for a while in order to actually earn that. But that'll be another time. Thanks for watching, folks. I'll see you later.